We're not seeing a huge interest in dedicated rooms. I think we're seeing a lot more interest in multitude of rooms. You know, why can't I have it in the kitchen? Why can't I have it in the bedroom? Why can't I have it in the family room, my office, the gym? So I think what we're seeing is a move away from a dedicated media room. But I think that's changing in the sense that the kids' room is becoming that dedicated media room,
right?
Where they're doing gaming, TV. So you're changing the name, but the room's the same.
I think that's one of the big things is we always ask our clients, like, where do you see your family like hanging out watching a movie on a Saturday night or a Friday night? And that's exactly like where the kids are playing video games. That's also where mom and dad come and hang out and watch the big movie.
We're seeing a huge explosion of much higher quality outdoor audio.
Right.
It's no longer just hanging 2-box speakers on the side of a house. We're seeing a really big opportunity with using things like dedicated subwoofers buried in the ground, satellite speakers, and I think over the last probably 30 to 40% of our projects, we're seeing outdoor TVs. Multitude, more than one, waterproof TVs. You know what's really been interesting is with 8K, there was a considerably more fanfare around 4K than there was 8K. What 8K has done, I think Samsung has been the driving factor, they've absolutely dropped the price on 8K, which is an 8K Samsung costs less than a 4K LG.
Which is wild.
Which is, there's no content.
And how do you explain that to people who have 4K TVs that they paid, X amount of dollars for, and now all of a sudden you have an 8K that's, 4 or 5 grand.
10 years ago, the old manufacturers, we usually would do $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 TV sets, and now you can get an 8K 72-inch for $8 grand. And if you wait 2 months, it'll be $7 grand.
I feel like our industry as a whole has really started talking about working with interior designers and the architects more than the industry has talked about it in years. We've been in business for 12, 14 years. In the last 3 years, it's finally the messaging that we've really wanted to focus on is architects, interior designers, they drive a project, and working with them on these projects has been a lot of fun. There's a good deal of hesitation, especially with interior designers, because I think they know what they want the house to look like. I think they want to know, especially with lighting control, you see that one keypad on the wall and that looks so much nicer than 8 switches like in your foyer or something. So I think they want to know it, but there's still definitely a level of hesitation.
It's a necessary evil. They know they need to have it. The customer base, which is now in our world, entering between 35 and 50 that are building new homes, their expectation that it has technology in it. So the architects are backing into it. There's very few architects we've met that are leading it. Designers are leading it a little bit more because what they're enamored by, even things like automation as far as lifts go and hidden TVs is much more stable, much more available. So the designers are pushing that side, that could hide it. From an architect, we're finding that if they find an integrator that relieves stress for them, they'll just keep moving. But they haven't embraced it. They haven't passioned and say, we should do lighting control and here's why. I think that education would be profound for an architect to understand because they're not leading the charge, they're kind of hanging on as it's happening.
I love the idea of it. If it becomes easy for integrators to supply to their clients and it's a clean solution on both ends, I think that's, genius. People love that.
I think there's very few integrators even understand the opportunity of doing it because there's very few residential applications of a very aesthetic, pleasing video wall. And how it could have multiple purposes throughout a home. It's like 5 years ago, the mirror from Sura was like an innovative thing. And now everybody wants to do mirrors and TVs behind it, but the quality gets lost in bright rooms. This is where I think a video wall could have a really good opportunity, where you keep the quality, but it doesn't overwhelm the room by putting a large TV on the wall. The entire wall is the TV.